I'm Scott Jones, Bishop of the Texas Conference of the United Methodist Church. What strange times we are living in. We've been coping for the last several months with the COVID-19 pandemic. It's changed so much of what we do, but also offered so many opportunities for our local churches to find creative ways to be in ministry and socially distancing time. And then the killings of George Floyd and others have raised the question of racism with a new intensity in our lives. And so I'm talking to you today about a proposal that will come to the annual conference session in August from your strategic mapping team.
What we've been experiencing the last few months, what we've been experiencing the last few weeks, I believe, the future is going to look very different, and it has to look very different in the life of the church.
It might seem odd to be talking about restructuring the conference under such circumstances, and yet I'm convinced that the proposal from the strategic mapping team is even more appropriate than ever before.
The world is changing. People are changing. I think the role of the church is going to have to change too.
Because of the present challenges, we will need to likely make some difficult budget and personnel decisions. And so if we don't have this proposal to guide us, I'm afraid those decisions will be more blunt, more costly, and less strategic. This gives us a coherent strategic direction for the season that we're in.
We have to be positioned to still be reaching out and touching lives in the name of Jesus Christ.
We're talking about shifting so much of what we do as an annual conference closer to the local church. We've used the term decentralizing to say that some funding and some responsibilities will be shifted to districts. We're going to be reducing the size of the conference staff, reducing the conference budget, and proposing that some of those things be done by special funds that are given to districts to use in their local areas. We're going to be protecting our conference campus ministries. They're going to have some reduced funding, but still over $1 million.
Given the diversity of our conference, we need ministry that can allow for us to address the needs and concerns of our various mission fields.
I also want to emphasize that the important new programs, the African American Church Initiative, We Love All God's Children, and continuing our Hispanic Ministry Initiative are going to continue under this new proposal if you adopt it. Given the conversations about racism in America and how we as a church respond, those strike me as absolutely essential for our future. We don't know what the church is going to look like after the COVID pandemic is a matter of history. And yet I do believe that we need to be more nimble and to do our connectional ministry in new and different ways. We're keeping the same number of districts, and we're going to continue our focus on raising up a new generation of leaders, both lay and clergy, for the future of our church. And yet, we've got to do it in a way that, gives us flexibility. In your pre-conference packet is the report of the strategic mapping team. That group, which I chaired, has been working for almost 2 years. We've held listening events in all districts. We've consulted the CLT and DLTs and other groups. We've tried to figure out how best to map a new strategic direction for our annual conference.
We've really pulled people together, and we talked through some of our ideas and some of our thoughts, but we really wanted to hear from others. We wanted to listen. We wanted to hear their concerns. We wanted to hear their heart for where they felt led or feel the conference is being led in ministry, and then taking all of that information and putting it together with prayer and lots of conversation and dialogue. We came to something that we believe will help us to be nimble enough to move into an uncertain future with hope.
We listened, we put a proposal together, presented it again, molded it further. So this has been a process where we have truly sought to listen to the needs of the local church and the district.
I just really think you're going to have great trust in this proposal. If you look at the members of the team that have worked together for 2 years, If you looked at the process that we've undergone over a long period of time, it has engaged the conference at really every level that we could think of to garner the feedback that we hoped would really inform the proposal, and it has.
We're not quite sure how quickly these reforms are going to be implemented if you approve them. We've promised by July 1 of 2023, but when you're dealing with personnel matters, sometimes they go faster and sometimes they go slower. We do think that this sets a direction for our conference, and given the craziness of this pandemic and all the changes that are on the horizon, we think it provides a direction that will allow us to serve Jesus Christ as well as we possibly can.
If this proposal passes, the district leadership teams will have that opportunity to focus their ministries in a contextual manner, to be able to address the needs within their district, and likewise the local church. One of the exciting aspects for me is moving ministry closer and closer to the local church.
The Texas Annual Conference is deeply committed to our mission of making disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. That includes a witness for justice, that includes the evangelization of people, that includes becoming more fully inclusive and diverse of all ethnic minority groups. We know that's the direction God's calling us, and we think that this proposal is offering us new ways of doing our connectional ministry together. I invite you to study this proposal carefully. I want you to know that I fully support it. And then when we gather August 14th and 15th, we'll discuss it and make some decisions about how best to move forward in this new way of doing our church work together. I thank you for your willingness to serve as a leader in the Texas Annual Conference, and pray that God will continue to bless you, your congregation, and our entire annual conference as we seek to make disciples of Jesus Christ for the transformation of the world. God bless you.